What's going on, everybody? I'm Bruno, and today's video is the latest patch notes for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. This is patch number 1.09. If you're looking for what changed earlier this week, that is the previous video, the mid-week bonus patch, I call it, where they actually adjusted some guns and things like that. So if you're looking for that, that link's in the description below or on my channel, so go check that out. Now, without further ado, this is what changed on Call of Duty Modern Warfare overnight, midnight, Pacific Standard Time. I'll leave a link to this in the description below so you guys can read along with me if you want. And I'll just read these patch notes verbatim. November 22nd, 2019 patch notes from Infinity Ward. Special Operations, Harbinger, and Brimstone. Classic Special Operations, Door Kick, 3-star rating system, and rewards. 3-star rating system is based on time completed, and the XP and MP unlocks based on your star rating after finishing a game. Multiplayer, Realism, Moshpit, Domination, Hardpoint, Headquarters, and Kill Confirmed. Gun Game, General, fix for a bug where a player could spawn without a character model when spawning in on a friendly vehicle. Invisible Dudes. Fixes for various exploits across all maps and modes. Fix for an issue where copying an opposing player's loadout was also copying their kill streaks. Fix for the after action report not displaying newly acquired awards. Fix for player rank icons not appearing on the scoreboard. Shorten the amount of time an execution animation plays. Accessibility, added the option to always sprint. Footsteps, adjusted the volume and sound type played for crouch walk and walking while aiming down the sights. Dead Silence. Fix for the Dead Silence field upgrade not lasting the correct amount of time when Call of Duty League rules are enabled. Fix for nameplates being visible in a certain location on Piccadilly. Updated the obituary to remove the avenged by and saved player from the kill feed, as well as the play of the game owner and player rank increases. So now if you get, a 4 or 5 banger, you'll see all of those in order without interruptions in the kill feed. Fix for players being able to join a match even though they've been blocked. Private match. Added the option to disable the spawn camera. Fix for a bug where the starting flag's captured private match option was not functioning as intended. Fix for the bomb screen appearing blank when defusing or planting the bomb in search and destroy with realism enabled, and added the bomb carrier indicator. Kill streaks. Fixed an issue where selected kill streaks would revert to the previous selection mid-match. Fix where players using the shield turret kill streak could see through the smoke at certain angles with the side panels of the turret. Call of Duty League. Thermal scopes are now able to see through smoke grenades. Added the option to disable the spawn camera. Fixed an issue where the mount interaction prompt was disappearing when planting or defusing the bomb in search destroy. One life mode fixes. Fix for camera getting stuck on the death location when transitioning to spectate. Fix for the weapon not animating when sprinting at the beginning of the round. Infantry assault vehicle, reduced damage radius and lethality of the turret, but nothing for the tanks. That's just the IAV. Progression, challenges, missions, and fixes. Cleaned up and updated descriptions for various challenges. Officer challenge, heads up, destroy vehicles with launchers, doing work, aggression, expert gunsmith, one-trick pony. Lethals and tacticals. Fix for decoy grenades showing a red blinking light for both allies and enemies. Slightly brighten the player outline when using the snapshot grenade. Single player. Fix for a bug that could cause an error when selecting a mission. In the perks, spotter. Perk was not marking equipment, field upgrades, or kill streaks through walls in free-for-all. Fix for spotter perk not marking UAVs and slightly brightened outlines. Explosive Ordnance Disposal, or EOD perk. Fix for players losing HUD, or heads-up display, elements after hacking an enemy claymore in certain scenarios. Fix for the Quick Fix perk, not giving faster regeneration when earning kills with the throwing knife. Fix for the Amped perk, not stowing the riot shield as quickly as it should. Weapons. Fix for the rocket launcher camos not unlocking or tracking properly. Fix for the Model 680 camos not unlocking or tracking properly. FN Scar 17, slight increase in ADS time, reduction to barrel and bipod grip penalties. So it's slower to aim down the sights, and the barrel and bipod grip penalties are not as bad. Fix for a white placeholder box appearing when leveling up a weapon and unlocking new attachments. Added descriptions to all optics that have scope glint. That's cool. Fixed an issue where the P90 plus the FFS ring sight would create a scope glint. I use both of those, so that's very cool. Thermal scopes are now able to see through smoke grenades. Fix for charms not appearing where they should on various weapons. Leaderboards and combat records. Fixed a bug where selecting all would sometimes kick the player back to the main menu. Added capture the flag and hardpoint into combat records. Audio voice chat options. No effect, default voice chat. No additional effects or equalizer adjustments. Stealth comms. Bring the immersion of the campaign into multiplayer with added SAS radio effects to voice chat. Classic chatter. Feeling nostalgic? Coordinate with your team using classic Modern Warfare radio effects. Special operations. Added munition drops. After various objectives, a care package will drop to provide you with much needed munitions. Various exploit fixes. Fix for an issue where players could lose functionality after using the EMP drone in Operation Crosswind. Fix for crashes that occur when viewing the scoreboard from the match summary. Survival. Fix for enemies spawning out of bounds on Piccadilly. PC. New features. Added an option to hide friend requests and party invitations. Added support for additional keyboard layouts on PS4. Stability. Several fixes to prevent crashes and improve stability. General fixes. Fixed an issue where the boot up sequence volume would be too loud. Various key binding adjustments. Players are now able to back out of the gesture and spray wheel by clicking anywhere. Players are now able to back out of the gesture and spray wheel by clicking anywhere. More fixes to prevent hitching, stuttering during cutscenes. Fixed an issue where the main menu music would not play when users activated the skip introduction movie option. Fixed for an error that could occur when attempting to manage a party. Multiple fixes for different aspect ratios on various menu screens in the game. Fixed for a bug where the XP token shortcut key would also open NVIDIA highlights feature simultaneously, now on F key for Foxtrot. Fixed for a bug where some achievements would appear as completed even though they were not. It was kind of advertised like it was going to be this huge patch, and it had 2 pages of notes and etc. In general, the community is happy to have all these fixes, and me, myself personally, am glad to see so many bugs and exploits being fixed and some of these changes being implemented. I'm grateful for the hard work that the studio is doing. It seems to be the fastest I've ever seen a Call of Duty get patched in all 16 Call of Duties. The communication seems to be more transparent than ever. I'm grateful for all these things. But I think these are all just steps in the right direction and not really the best that can be done. A lot of people have voiced their opinion that there's some major changes they feel need to be made in the game in order for it to be really fun to continue playing for a long period of time. Many have already stated that they've stopped playing the game. Many are saying that they're going to stop playing the game. I'm having a blast playing the game, and I hate to see other people quit playing the game because they're not having fun. So I generally want to communicate those things to the developers. So if they're happening to watch this video, this is a list of things that the community has really made a point to be important to them and need to be fixed. And I hope that whoever's making the decisions looks at this stuff with an open mind and considers what's best for the community and the longevity of the game, rather than whatever the decisions are currently that are keeping these things from being done. Hopefully they're just in progress. And if that's the case, if these changes that I'm about to list are in progress, we would love to see in future patch notes a coming soon feature. Here's a list of what the community has made known that they want fixed, but not in any certain order. Community wants a dead silence perk. They want, instead of it being a field upgrade, they want it as a perk. Skill-based matchmaking. In Exclusive Ace and Drifter's latest 2 independent studies, they showed a correlation between the last 5 games that you played and your kill-death ratio and score per minute of those games affected the next game that you get. So your last 5 games average in to your next match that you're trying to make. Secondary to ping, of course. So connection is still king, which makes sense. I am glad about that at least. But that would explain why I was having a different experience than other players. For example, someone who lives in Los Angeles, there's 55 million people that live just very close within 2 hours of Los Angeles. So that is a larger player base with lower ping to be able to come up with matches. I live in rural Asheville, North Carolina, and the mountains, and there's 500,000 people that live here instead of 55 million people. That's a big difference. So when they're searching for ping for me, they're going to take whoever they can get that has the best ping and throw them in a match. So a lot of times I'll have really terrible people that I play against one match and then really awesome people that I play against next match, and it doesn't seem to make any sort of sense. But people who live in larger areas like Dallas, Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, St. Louis, Seattle, all these places, they have a larger player base to pull from for making matches. So they get matches quickly with good connection to a larger group of people, and so then the game goes, oh, okay, well, we have 45 possible matches for this squad of 6. What what are we going to do next to try to get them in the next match? Oh, well, let's look at their last 5 games as a whole, average them, and put them against another group of 6 who has a closer average, so that the games, if you've noticed, tend to go out further with more potential comebacks and back and forths, and some games don't even finish. They finish by time rather than score. So I think that all makes sense, and that all of those things do point that the 5-game average is affecting matchmaking, especially for very populated areas. They need to communicate to the player base and tell them that that's the truth or it's not the truth, and then if it is the truth, they really do need to remove that. As a casual game, they probably don't need to have any skill-based matchmaking whatsoever, and it'd be completely random, first available, first come, first serve matchmaking for regular playlists. Now, when they release a ranked system where players are going in for the purpose of being the best and playing against the best to prove that they're the best and be number one, man, put so much skill-based matchmaking in it, make it the sweatiest thing you could ever possibly imagine. Sounds like you're on the way to the right algorithm already. Just use it there because they want that. And if you're going to make the community happy, I think that is the priority. Getting that ranked playlist with the SBMM, the skill-based matchmaking, and get it out of casual playlists. They didn't address the minimap at all. I've never seen a community so vocal about one particular thing, and that's the minimap. It seems that the community really wants the minimap back the way it was in all the other Call of Duties, and that would be a larger view of the minimap, and that when people shoot, that they appear on the minimap as a red dot. Right now, it's a small round minimap that you can't switch to square, and then in the top of the heads-up display, there is a compass that red diamonds indicate the direction of where you're hearing fire from. I get that they were trying to make it more realistic. It's cool. Keep the compass if you want, but I think that in order to make people happy, you should probably consider adding in the red dots back on the minimap at the very least. If not, returning the regular, larger minimap with the red dots and just making it classic. It's a neat idea. I get where you're going with it. Applaud the effort, but it's obvious that the community in whole doesn't like it. Spawns. So in the competitive community, there's a spawn problem. Hardpoint and Domination is impossible to play competitively because of the spawns. Like to the point that some pro teams won't even scrim until it's fixed. So a lot of people are pretty upset about that. And I assume that that is because they're like team wave spawns in most scenarios, and there's not a whole lot of different places to spawn. Exclusive Ace has some videos on that too. You should check that out. Kill streaks. A lot of players in the community want you to be able to earn your kill streaks again if you don't die. Ghost in this game allows you to be invisible even if you're sitting still, and this allows people to camp a little bit more effectively, I guess. A lot of people in the community want Ghost to only work when it's moving. Double XP is not game time, it's real time. So if you pop a code right now and then you go home 3 hours from now to use your code when you log in, it's not there for you. I mean, what happens if you punch your codes in, you're sitting in your game, you're ready to play, and then somebody knocks on the door and you got a 15-minute conversation with somebody who knocked on your door and your code's gone? I mean, it's just what a waste. Doesn't make sense. Netcode. So this is something that I don't know a whole lot about, but I've been reading a lot more about lately because it's been popular in comments. Netcode. Apparently the listening servers. So these are the servers that basically listen for when you send information to Call of Duty with your, bullets registering, etc., and then they send back whether you killed them or not. Apparently these servers are 12 hertz. I don't know this for a fact, but apparently. And that means that if you fire more than 600 rounds per minute in the game, sometimes your bullets will be batched up and sent as one bullet. So you get double the damage with one bullet. So a lot of times you'll notice you'll get one shot by an M4, and that's because you're getting hit by 2 bullets at once. And that's because of this netcode thing. So my recommendation would be for Activision and Infinity Ward to, communicate about netcode and what kind of servers they're using and the reasoning behind it, and whether or not they intend to adjust that in a way that's more beneficial to players, because that does sound a little whack. Camera angles is also apparently an issue because of this listening thing. People move quickly, like left, right, really quick. A lot of times you'll never see them move because of that same exact issue. Hit detection. I don't know if this is also part of netcode, but it could be. The Wilson controls, the little robot that you drive around and shoot stuff with, it is impossible to drive almost, man. You're always running up over things. It's just terrible. All right, so let me just reference this. In Call of Duty Blackout, the way you drive vehicles in that game works perfectly. Just copy it. Don't reinvent stuff all the time. Sometimes you've already got a solution that you can use. Just use it. Nobody's going to be offended. Ability to see what's in care packages. I can see why that's important to people trying to steal them, whether they're worth it or not, etc. And being able to re-roll the care packages is also another feature of some other Call of Duties. And I think that's kind of neat. I've always liked being able to re-roll if I get something like a personal UAV or a shield turret or something. A lot of people don't like how overkill allows you to have a full set of perks and attachments, you know, for your other weapon. I actually use overkill quite a bit. And I started to think about it, I was like, well, why do I use overkill? It's not so always so that I just have two weapons to pull out. I don't mind using a pistol. In fact, 357 and the Desert Eagle are both phenomenal secondary weapons. The reason is because a lot of times I want to use a different weapon and not have to make another class. There's 5 classes, and there's like, you know, I want to have an S&D class, and I want to have a sniper class, I want to have a couple of assault rifle classes, my main, and then one I'm like grinding. I want to have the same for SMG. I want to have an SMG class, and then I want to have an SMG I'm grinding. I want to have a shotgun class. I want to have a class that's there for anti-vehicle purposes, anti-streak purposes. I need 10 classes, and I don't understand why we only have 5. There's enough room for like 15 classes on the side. I mean, what was it, like Black Ops 2? You could have like 50 classes or something? I don't remember. One of those, they were just like, here, have a bunch of classes. And you're like, oh, okay, cool, thanks, man. Like, I think we need more classes. I'm level 155. I got nothing for ranking up to 155, really, that I could tell. Why not just give me some classes for hitting 155? I just don't understand. Sorry, I get a little upset about that. I would probably use a different perk other than overkill, and it would make it less OP in the community. So I don't think that the Realism Moshpit was a great idea to bring in right now. Like, there hasn't been a whole lot of people that want to play this based on my experience, and I guess that they're trying to push this realism mode, and that's cool, I get it, but people don't want that from Call of Duty, really. I mean, there's some core players, and then there's a little bit of hardcore players, and I guess the hardcore players enjoy it. I don't know, I haven't really even talked to them about their experience, but generally the core players, the ones that make up the biggest part of the player base, they would like some smaller maps to play. So my recommendation would be to quickly put together a playlist that is Hackney Yard, Shoot House, and Gunrunner, and get those 3 maps in a 24/7 playlist with Moshpit rules, and let people play all the respawns on them. And I think that you'll have a lot better experience with players being happy. I think as well as take the rest of the 6v6 maps that you have and put those in the standard playlist for 10v10, because those maps are too big for 6v6, honestly. And especially if you start to bring in more 6v6 smaller maps like Shoot House. I know a lot of people are saying that they see that Shipment's coming, or some other map. I don't know what's coming, but these maps, when they come in that are much smaller, put those in the 6v6 list. Pull the bigger maps out that people are complaining about and put those in the 10v10 playlist. And the ones that are in the 10v10 playlist, some of those maps are gigantic, and I even said this when I played the game in Los Angeles back in July, is that, hey, you know, these 10v10 maps are so big, they play a lot better with like 20v20. So make a 20v20 playlist and let those maps be fun. Right now it's a lot of running, it's hard to keep your score per minute up. Hopefully those are some changes that can be made. If they're worried that people will get bored playing the same maps in that small playlist of only having 3 maps, man, I have done nothing but play Shoot House for the last week. Like, my friends get online and they don't really like to play the Shoot House playlist because they like to play all the modes and stuff which aren't on the Shoot House, like Search and Destroy and Cyber Attack. So I play with them, and we play the other maps. We play like Shoot House once the whole night, maybe twice. It's not even really showing up in the rotation feed that much. So that's what today's patch brought to you by Activision and Infinity Ward for Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the 1.09 patch. If you think I've missed something, please leave it in the comments section below. If you think that they need to add something that nobody's mentioned before, please tell me so that I can communicate that to the devs if I get a chance to, in a tactful way. And please, if you're out there communicating to the developers or the community relations operatives that they have at Infinity Ward and Activision on Twitter, YouTube, any other social media that you may use, please remember that these people are human beings. They go home, they eat, they sleep, they have families. They are just going to work, and they believe in doing what they're doing because they like video games, they like Call of Duty. They're into this sort of thing. So remember that when you talk to these people, that usually these are people that are just like you and me. They're very passionate about video games, etc. And a lot of times these frontline folks don't have the pay grade in the corporation to make the changes that we want, and they do read and hear everything that we say, especially if you say it tactfully. So remember that when you communicate with these people, be nice, be chill. We know it's frustrating to have something that you care about so much and so passionate about not be what you think it should be, but remember that communicate these people with tact. They deserve it. They're human beings just like me and you, and so be chill so that at least your message is heard and understood, which is what you really want to begin with as well. Thanks so much for tuning into my video. If you liked it, please leave a like. That helps me grow here on YouTube and find other people that like my content. And if you're new, please subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys next video. And add me on Call of Duty, Corporal Space Bruno. Thanks, bye.